Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Welcome to the deep dive. So you've brought us sources on, well, something ancient, but incredibly relevant now, meditation.
Yeah, it really is.
Our mission today, get straight to the point. We want to show you the solid science behind meditation as a real natural fix for sleep problems and anxiety. We want you to understand why it works, not just believe it does.
And that's so important because, let's face it, our modern lives, they're practically designed to make us anxious and sleepless. All the constant connection, the information overload, it drives up stress. People are wired, and they're definitely looking for things that work long-term, things that aren't just another pill.
Yeah.
Real tools.
Absolutely. So here's how we'll tackle this. First, we'll look at the science, the proof, and the mechanisms, how it actually changes things in your body and brain. Then we'll explore how it calms that fight or flight feeling. And finally, the really practical stuff. How do you actually start doing this? How do you fit it into your life to see real changes?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, let's get into the validation. Our sources are really clear on this. Meditation isn't just some, fringe trend anymore. It's a serious field of research. We're talking multiple randomized controlled trials, big meta-analyses backing this up.
Exactly. And what's really striking is how effective it is, particularly for sleep. Some studies show mindfulness meditation works just as well as standard treatments for insomnia, like certain medications or therapies. It consistently does better than placebo, which tells you it's a genuinely powerful tool, and importantly, non-invasive.
Okay, wait. When you say as effective as standard treatments, that's a big claim. Our sources mention CBTI specifically. Can you break that down? What does comparing it to cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia really tell us?
Right, that's a key comparison. CBTI is basically the gold standard psychological approach.
All right.
It involves therapy to change sleep habits, your thinking around sleep. It's quite involved.
Oh.
So when research finds that people consistently practicing meditation see similar improvements in sleep quality, sleeping longer, deeper, as people doing CBTI, well, it shows meditation isn't just making you feel relaxed for a few minutes. It's actually helping to rewire the brain's stress response over time.
Rewiring the brain, how does that work? You mentioned reducing something called hyperarousal.
Hyperarousal, think of it as being stuck in on mode, physically and mentally revved up. You can't settle down. Too much adrenaline, maybe cortisol, your thoughts are just racing. Meditation helps by getting you to focus on the present, non-judgmentally, like focusing on your breath. If you're doing that, your mind finds it harder to get caught up in worries about tomorrow or things that happened yesterday. It breaks that cycle.
Okay, so it's about shifting focus.
Yes, and that leads to something really interesting the sources highlight.
Yeah.
Meditation seems to dampen down activity in the default mode network, the DMN.
The DMN sounds technical, but important.
It really is.
Yeah.
The DMN is basically your brain's network for mind wandering, thinking about yourself, and rumination, worrying. When you're lying there trying to sleep and that network is firing on all cylinders, that's when you're stuck in that loop. Meditation quiets it down. It literally makes it harder for your brain to get stuck in those worry loops that keep people awake. That's the real mechanism behind improving sleep.
Wow, actually quieting the part of the brain that dwells on stuff. That's significant. So that connection between better rest and less stress seems clear. But often anxiety is the engine driving the sleeplessness, right? Let's talk about how meditation helps when anxiety is the main issue.
Absolutely. Anxiety really feeds off that fight or flight response. When anxiety becomes chronic, your sympathetic nervous system is basically floored, like the gas pedal is stuck down. Meditation helps regulate that. It actively shifts your body out of that stress state and into the calmer parasympathetic state.
So sympathetic is the gas. Parasympathetic is the brake.
Exactly. It's often called the rest and digest system. When it's active, your heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, your body starts conserving energy instead of burning it on perceived threats.
Okay.
Getting your body into that state is vital, not just for falling asleep easier, but for reducing that constant background hum of worry during the day too. And the data here is really solid. Studies consistently show meditation brings down anxiety levels significantly. And here's something encouraging. The effects are often most noticeable, especially early on, in people who start with high levels of anxiety or stress.
Oh, interesting. So if you're really stressed out, you might feel the benefits more dramatically.
Yeah, in a way, you have further to drop down the scale, so to speak, so the shift can feel more profound more quickly.
That's actually great motivation for those who feel they need it the most. Now, beyond just tackling sleep and anxiety directly, what about wider benefits? Our sources mention mood, overall well-being.
Definitely. Consistent practice is strongly linked to fewer symptoms of depression, better overall mood, and just feeling more emotionally resilient. And there's a clear feedback loop as your sleep quality improves because you're quieting that DMN, reducing the hyperarousal. You see measurable drops in daytime fatigue and depressive feelings.
Right.
It becomes a positive cycle, calmer mind, better sleep, better mood, and it reinforces itself.
Okay, so we've got the why from science and the how in the body, but like we said, this only helps if people can actually do it. Let's get practical. For someone starting out, maybe feeling a bit overwhelmed by all the apps and styles,
Yeah.
what did the sources say are the core effective techniques, especially for sleep?
Yeah, the good news is it's very accessible. You don't need special gear or a quiet retreat necessarily. The sources highlighted 4 main approaches that work well for calming the nervous system before bed. First up is guided meditation. This is often great for beginners. You listen to a recording, someone guides you through it. It takes some of the mental effort off your shoulders, makes it easier to stay focused or at least less likely to drift off completely into worry.
That makes sense. Provides structure. What about things involving the body more?
Okay, second is breath work. This is really foundational. Simple techniques controlling your breath, especially focusing on making the exhale longer than the inhale, directly stimulates the vagus nerve, and that sends a signal straight to your brain. Time to calm down. It activates that parasympathetic brake. It's like a physiological hack.
A direct signal. Okay.
Third, there's progressive muscle relaxation, or PMR. This one's fantastic if your stress shows up as physical tension, tight shoulders, clenched jaw.
I think many people relate to that.
With PMR, you systematically tense specific muscle groups, hold for a few seconds, and then consciously release them completely. It teaches your body to recognize and let go of that tension. Great for pre-sleep. And fourth, kind of a broader category, mindfulness exercises. This is more about bringing gentle awareness to the present moment. It could be noticing the sounds around you, the feeling of your body against the bed, just observing without judgment. It helps push out the mental clutter that keeps you awake.
That's a solid set of tools, but, beginners often worry about doing it right. They try once, their mind wanders like crazy, they think this isn't working, and they stop. What's the real step-by-step for someone totally new?
Yeah, that's a common hurdle. The absolute key advice: simplicity and consistency beat duration every time. Start really small. Like commit to just 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes each evening. Find a regular time, maybe before brushing your teeth or right after getting into bed. Sit or lie comfortably. You don't need to sit like a monk. Close your eyes. Pick one thing to focus on. The breath is usually easiest. And here's the crucial part. The goal isn't an empty mind. That's not realistic for most people, certainly not at first. The practice is noticing when your mind has wandered, because it absolutely will, and then gently, kindly, bringing your focus back to your breath. If you have to bring it back 50 times in 5 minutes, that's not failure. That's 50 repetitions of the core skill of meditation. That is the practice.
Okay, so the key is short and consistent is better than long and sporadic. And the wandering mind part isn't a bug, it's a feature you work with. Now, evening routines make sense for sleep, but is that the only time? Should people feel locked into nighttime practice?
Oh, absolutely not. Evening is great preparation for sleep, for sure. But honestly, the best time is the time you'll actually stick with consistently. If doing 5 minutes first thing in the morning fits your life better, you do it every day. That's far more powerful than aiming for 20 minutes at night but only managing it twice a week.
Right.
It's that consistency that drives the lasting changes in the brain.
Makes sense. So zooming out again, what about the long game? How fast can people realistically expect results, and do these benefits stick around?
The research suggests people often start noticing initial improvements, maybe feeling a bit less bothered by waking up at night within just a few weeks of daily practice.
A few weeks, okay.
And crucially, these improvements in sleep and the reduction in anxiety tend to be maintained, even deepen over months of continued practice. So no, it's not usually an instant fix that wears off. It's more like building a skill, a mental muscle, that provides lasting benefit.
That's encouraging. But it does bring up an important point, the caveats. Medication is natural, low side effect, but our sources were clear it's not a magic bullet for everything, right? What do people need to keep in mind?
Yes, very important context. It's a powerful tool, absolutely, but it isn't intended as a standalone cure for severe conditions.
Yeah.
Also, some people, when they first start sitting quietly, might find difficult emotions or thoughts coming up. That can happen as part of the process sometimes, but it's good to be aware of. And crucially, if someone is dealing with really severe anxiety or has a diagnosed sleep disorder like chronic insomnia, talking to a doctor or mental health professional is key. Meditation can be an excellent addition to treatment, a complementary practice.
Right.
And this is vital. It should never replace medication prescribed by a doctor without their direct guidance. Sometimes the best approach for severe cases might be a combination, medication plus meditation.
Got it. So manage expectations, seek professional help when needed, and don't stop existing treatments without talking to your doctor. And ultimately, it seems like finding what works for you is key. If guided meditation just isn't clicking, maybe try that muscle relaxation or focus on breath work. Needs that flexibility.
Exactly. Personal preference, lifestyle, what feels right for your body and mind, it all plays a role. An open mind and willingness to experiment helps a lot.
Okay, let's pull this all together then. We've seen there's solid science here. Meditation isn't just fluff. It provides benefits on par with some standard therapies. It works by helping regulate your nervous system, calming that brain chatter, the default mode network, reducing that wired feeling of hyperarousal. And this leads to real, measurable improvements in sleep and anxiety.
Yeah, fundamentally, it offers a sustainable way to find more calm. It's a skill you build within yourself to tackle the roots of stress and sleeplessness that are so common today. It's about finding a path to better health that you control.
So thinking about that, given that the real power comes from consistency, from building that skill over time, what's the one small thing you could try just for the next couple of weeks maybe? What tiny 3-minute commitment, a short guided track, focusing on your breath, maybe tensing and releasing your shoulders, could you experiment with starting tonight to begin finding your way to better rest?
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.